This is CBY, Christian Broadcasting of Yakima, your local Christian television station, bringing to our valley quality Christian programming for more than 40 years.
Hello, and thanks for joining us for Good News in the Valley, your local Christian news magazine. Now, we hope this program will be a blessing to you during this Christmas season as we celebrate the real reason for the season, the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Now, first you'll hear from the Executive Director of Camp Hope as he shares testimonies from residents whose lives were helped by this outreach, including a song by one of them. Then we'll give you information about the upcoming Walk for Life in January, and then close with a Christmas video. Now, Camp Hope Yakima is a shelter for the homeless. It provides a safe haven as well as new beginnings to men, women, children, and families to help them get a fresh start in life. Let's now join Executive Director Mike Kay as he visits with two individuals that were touched by this ministry.
Thank you, Skip. I'm excited today for the viewers to get to meet a few of the ladies that have been graduates of Camp Hope or staying at Camp Hope. So today I brought my friend Jamie. So Jamie, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Jamie, tell the viewers just a little bit about your story.
I would say most of my life I have struggled with medical issues and addiction, and my mom passed away and became homeless. Basically, just that simple. It started out at another shelter in town. It did not work out good there. They wound up kicking me out, and I really just was scared. I didn't know what to do. I had so much trauma and grief and baggage that I didn't know where to go. So I just kept walking, and I'd get dropped off at Camp Hope a couple times by White BD. It was White BD drop off. And then somebody helped me. There was another female, Rachel. She made my bed for me one night, and I hadn't had that in so long. You know, it was something that your mom or your grandma would do, or, you know, when you didn't feel good, and that was what stuck out to me. She made me a bed, and she went and got me clothes, and she hung them on my thing. I had nothing. You know, everything I had was always stolen because it doesn't matter. But I slept for the first time in probably about 4 or 5 months.
I bet that felt good.
It did.
Yeah. And now, so we fast forward a little bit, you're clean and sober how long now?
It'll be 2 years in January.
Completely clean and sober, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? How cool is that?
Still pretty scary.
Yeah, and then, so you've worked down at the camp as an intern, right? You still work down there as an intern, right? But now you're kind of transitioning into a new role where you're kind of working with some of the women that come in off the streets, where you're kind of their buddy, their pal, their mentor. Yeah,
they're just as scared as I was, and I can see it now. And I was pretty judgmental too. I always thought I was very sympathetic to homeless people, but I wasn't. I didn't know the half of it. But now that I've lived the other side of it, and I can talk with them on a level that, you know, you really have to almost experience it, they trust me. And once they can stay there and they find out they're safe, because that's the biggest thing, especially when you're women. That's why you don't see a lot of women in homeless shelters, because it's not safe. Yeah. They'll try to stay in motels and everything else they can do first. But that's what's different about Camp Hope. And I was a person there. People started knowing my name, and then actually caring and helping me get into treatment and being there for me when it was hard. And so I started opening it up with my situation, and I think I've Probably taught a few things too. But that's the least I can do.
Yeah. You do a great job at it.
Thank you, Mike.
You do a great job. And you have family in the area that you've been able to reunite with, right?
Yep.
I know you have a dad in the area that's super proud of you. That you've been able to overcome your addiction, and your sobriety is super important to him, just like it is to you.
Yeah.
Right? You were able to kind of face your mom's death and kind of get some help there,
Yeah.
which I lost my mom too, so I can tell you that especially this time of the year, having that support system to get through is so critical.
Well, there's always somebody there to talk to. And my dad and my family, they can't understand, well, why do you still want to be in a homeless shelter? Well, because number one, I know I'm safe there, and I don't want to be in an apartment staring at four walls by myself. There's always someone there to talk to. Staff has always been amazing with me. If I'm having a struggle, it doesn't matter if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, they will sit down and they will talk with you, and that's so important. You know, there's somebody who's been there, somebody who's encouraging, so.
Well, it's that relationship piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what makes us different than a lot of places, is that relationship piece where you're not a number.
No.
Even though we have higher numbers than we've ever had, you know, you're not a number, you're a person with feelings and emotions and so on. And I think, you know, having someone that says, I want to walk through this with you, I think that's a game changer. What do you think?
That is the game changer. That is what's different. And given this opportunity to go to church, that was something that is very unique. I've always been so grateful because it's like, well, wherever you can take us, we get to go. So we don't feel like bums in the back row, you know. Mm-hmm. We just feel important. And that's what makes it, people want to do better.
Well, I think maybe the way I put it to people is we built a community,
Yeah.
right? And a community of people that are just as broken, me included. But what I love is the fact that, you know, Jesus shows his restoration power by taking the most broken people and showing what work can be done if they just simply had the opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
You're an example of that.
That was
Jamie.
it. That was, I just didn't have the opportunity. No one gave me the chance. It was, and my family, my dad, of course he loves me, but he didn't know what to do with me. And he was grieving my loss of my mom. 50 years they were together. And so I was also very selfish. You know,
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about his feelings.
Sure.
You know, and I apologize for that because it's terrible. But that last time I was in jail was January, right before I got there. And I told God, I said, I can't do this anymore. You've got to get me somewhere or take me home because I don't have another round in me. And I wound up back on the street, back at the mission, back in the hospital, and then went to Camp Hope from Celebrate Recovery. Mm-hmm. And that's how I got there that last time. It wasn't white PD drop-off, it was choice.
But you know what? Isn't it great that we have a police department that would take you where you needed to go? Even when, and I remember when you arrived there, you weren't very
Lord.
happy, right? But that's okay, that they cared enough about you to get you where you needed to go. The cool thing is, Jamie, is I recently got the honor to baptize you.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, that was such an honor for me because I know all of the back struggle that you've had. And to see you surrender and break those chains and just give your life to God and what God's doing through you right now, holy cow. I tell people all the time, I've got the greatest job in the world because I get to see people come in completely broken, desolate, feeling rejected, and see God get them by the hand and say, come with me. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they kick and scream like you did for a while. But
Putting it mildly.
yeah, but look at what you're doing now.
Yeah.
You know, I watched you last week take care of a lady that could not take care of herself. And I know that your body still hurts from some of your medical issues and stuff. So I know that's a deal, but you have a tremendous ministry down there with people.
I'm just a vessel. God does speak through me. Because, I mean, that's not all in my head. That's coming from somewhere else that's way bigger than me. So, but it's nice to see people who listen and give it a chance. And then so many people have actually progressed and moved out of there and done good.
Yeah.
You don't hear that anywhere else.
Well, and you don't hear people moving out and then they're right back on the street within 30 days or whatever. You know, that's God healing them. I mean, it really is. So, Jamie, as we kind of wrap this thing up, what would you tell the viewers about Camp Hope that made Camp Hope so unique for you in your time that you've been down there?
Honestly, I'm alive because of Camp Hope. I would have been dead. There's no way. There's no way I would have been dead. Between safety and then people caring enough to give me a chance. I just hope that people would help keep it going, because what you're doing is a very good thing.
And thank you. So I know you probably feel like I do, the stigma of homelessness, right? Everybody has a story.
Yeah.
Right? The stigma of homelessness, that they're always the drug addict in the doorway that's going to hurt you and so on. At least my experience at our shelter, I don't see a lot of that.
No. We don't have a lot of that there.
I see people coming in just weary, tired, wanting a second chance. We do have some people that kind of fit in the knucklehead category, right? But that's very few. And I think that because of the discipleship model that we have there, which is really what it's called, right? Where we're pouring into people like you or Sarah or whoever, you're able to then pour into them and be able to talk truth to them. That's so much more powerful than anything that I could say to them.
Without Camp Hope, none of that would be possible. That's not what they want to hear other places. I mean, there's other shelters where they are fighting over food. I mean, actually fist fighting over a plate of dinner. And wow, that just is really sad.
Well, I'm excited to see what God does with you from here on out, too.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you've got a powerful testimony, my friend, and I encourage you to use it often. I know of a lady that went to treatment here a month ago because you spoke truth into her. And she's probably alive because you took action and made her feel loved and cared for, and that she could complete treatment. And so I want to just continue to encourage you to be that beacon of hope for people. Jamie, we're super proud of you.
Thank you, Mike.
We love you very much.
Thank you.
And I'm so grateful to God that He brought you, even in a police car, but He brought you to Camp Hope so that we could get to know you. And I'm so excited to see what God does with your life. So thank you for doing this. I know you were nervous, but you did a great job.
All right, thank you, Mike.
Okay? So stay tuned. My friend Sarah will be giving her testimony here in just a few seconds. Well, I am so excited to introduce you to my friend Sarah Garcia. Sarah came to Camp Hope a while back with her son, and she came from the Seattle, Tacoma area, and I'm going to let her share that with you, but I think you're going to be blown away with what God's done in this young lady's life, and so I'm so excited to share that with you. So Sarah, thanks for being here.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me, Mike.
So Sarah, I of course know your story, but I want you to share your story with the viewers. So,
so it was, I don't know, maybe like four years ago that I was fleeing domestic violence. I was homeless with my son. We'd been going from town to town, and I was terrified to ask for help because I thought I was going to lose my son. And so I didn't. I was just doing it by myself, and I was tired. I was exhausted. And so one day I Googled up safe parking, and Camp Hope popped up, and I was like, Camp Hope? I mean, if I ever needed anything, I needed someplace to camp with a little bit of hope, you know?
There you go.
So I came, and what I found was security, compassion, humility, a safe haven. I felt like I could lay my burdens down, felt like I could take it all off. I could rest. I could wash clean of everything, all the monkeys that were on my back. And I was treated like a person. I wasn't treated like a number. I had people reach out to me and show me support. And you personally, Mike, you and your wife Esther, you guys, made our Christmas amazing, for my son, and he loves you guys to death. And I really wouldn't be where I'm even at right now in life if it wasn't for your support. I've currently finished my associate's degree in substance use disorder. So I have my license in that. I'm going on for my bachelor's in psychology, and I'm currently working at Phoenix Counseling Services in training to do domestic violence intervention treatment. So I would not have even went to college if it wasn't for, you telling me that I could, believing in me, so yeah, it was really, really great.
But you got to remember our deal. So when you get fully licensed, I get first opportunity to hire you. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's our deal, okay?
I'm coming back.
That's right. That's right. Sarah, you and Andrick had such a special place for us when you arrived there, because you could just tell the exhaustion, right? And your son Andrick's about the cutest little guy ever, right? So he was really easy to get attached to as well. But what I noticed with you is that just continual grind. You were gonna make this work. You were gonna do whatever you needed to do to be able to take care of Andrick. And that was just such a cool, refreshing thing to see. Is you could just see you just needed a little bit of a helping hand. A place to lay your head where you could kind of get your wits about you and so on. I am so impressed with the fact that, one, you were a great intern for us because you, just like Jamie, had the knack to be able to talk to people. And that was so cool to see too, is see you, and now I can now minister to some of these people that are coming in.
Right.
I think of several families that you spent time with that are now got their own place, they're thriving, all that kind of stuff. That's because you took some time with them, and I think that's so cool. You have your own apartment now.
Yeah.
Right? You work on your own cars.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I'm excited to see what happens next for you.
Yeah.
So I know that you have quite a voice. You can sing as well, right? And so
yep.
in your younger days, you actually were a recording artist, correct?
Yeah. I dabbled in it a little bit. Nothing too, fancy or famous, but that's something that I definitely enjoy doing. Yeah.
So what's on the agenda for the next year for Sarah?
I don't know. It's been a lot of school and work. But things are moving very fast. It's very fast paced. And so I just, today I've been working part-time, and today I was just offered full-time. It's really an awesome opportunity. And it's not what I went to school for, but I think it goes hand in hand with what I dealt with in life. And for me, it gives me an opportunity to, to talk to other people. You mentioned that at Camp Hope that there were families that I talked to, and we have this ability to minister to these people. Before I was homeless, I didn't know. You could ask me what I thought about a homeless person and what I might say, even though I feel like I'm not a judgmental person, could have come off as the stigma that everybody would say. So experiencing it opened my eyes, and living alongside other people who are normal people, it really changed my perspective, and has allowed me to minister to a lot of other people and see a lot of other people with kind of a different lens of compassion, and so that's really what I want to take forward into the future. So I'm going to continue on with school and help where I can.
So you went from Camp Hope to you stayed at some of our tiny homes.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you?
Honestly, it is fantastic. You know, no matter what it was you did or what happened that places you in the position of homelessness, any person can't help but feel shame about that. And that kind of wears on your, you know, how you feel about yourself. And so the tiny home program, you know, has this ability for me, and I'm sure for the others that have stayed there, it allowed me to regain my dignity. I have my own place, you know, I can set my own schedule, keep things clean. Once you start accomplishing these little things that you haven't been able to do because you don't have a home, you know, you start to build up your self-worth, and you feel worthy. Nobody, you know, looks at you like, oh, you're staying in somebody's tiny home for free. No, they you know, you're accepted, and there are so many opportunities to give back to, you know, talking with other neighbors in the tiny homes, having dinners together, going to church together, you know, so it was just it was an all-around great, really great experience, and also another thing, you know, it gives you the security that you can do this. You can get your own place again. No matter how long you've been homeless, how long you've been on the street, how long you've been without food and shelter and you know, a place to lay your head and a shower even. You know, starting off in this tiny home, it's kind of like taking baby steps. You're not so overwhelmed moving into this giant apartment where you're all by yourself. Who knows, can I pay the rent? What's going to happen? You know, so it's in a safe and secure location, helps you build back that dignity, and you know, it's a good step forward in the right direction.
That's what I really like about our program is it gives people that transitional step, right? And what I like about our program is people can stop and refocus as many times as they need to before they go on to their apartment. Because, you know, you and I know people that have done rapid rehousing and they go right into their apartment and then they're right back out on the street because they're not well enough to be there. The trauma's still there. And so, yeah, I'm super excited about our tiny home program and the next evolution of it so that other people can get a chance like you did.
Yeah.
Because what I saw is when we transitioned you from camp to the tiny home, it was like giving you rocket fuel, just how much faster you were going through some of the steps because just that self-esteem was coming back in you and all that other stuff. That was so cool to watch, by the way.
You know, you go through this traumatic situation and you have somebody telling you it's your fault, you're wrong, nothing's going to turn out right for you, you can't do anything right. And you start to believe that, and especially when, you know, you're not getting your basic needs met, you know, it's hard to heal because you're just trying to survive. So, you know, Camp Hope was a place for us to heal. You know, you don't have to survive. Here you can thrive. You know?
Perfect.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm going to steal that. Yeah. So I'm going to put that on a T-shirt or something. That's great. So, Sarah, where do you see people being able just to kind of connect and heal? I mean, you've been to other shelters and stuff. Was what you experienced at Camp Hope, was it a unique experience?
It definitely was, yeah. And honestly, I mean, I miss it. I you know, like you said, I have my apartment now. I'm no longer homeless, and I miss it. I miss the camaraderie. I miss the family feel. I miss, you know, being able to see somebody's progress, how they flourish. I don't see that anywhere else. Right. I don't, you know. And I think that is what makes Camp Hope unique is that, you know, you're not counting numbers so you can say, oh, I need this much money, you know. You're not doing that. You're counting the people and you're seeing how you can help them.
Yep.
And not because ultimately it's going to help you, but it's going to help this community. Like you said, you know, Camp Hope is a community. We're all helping each other. It's not one man for himself, you know.
Yep.
what you do for one person today may be the reason that you get help in 3 years.
Yep.
You never know.
Yep, I agree.
So one thing that Camp for Hope really has inspired in me is, as many people that helped me out humbly, not egotistically, they did it out of the kindness of their heart. And it inspires me to do the same for other people.
That's so cool. So cool. Well, Sarah, thank you for coming in today.
Of course. Great.
Thank you for watching. Hope you were inspired by these two ladies' testimonies. And we have a whole lot more that I'm anxious to share with you. We want to wish you a Merry Christmas. And again, if you're interested in helping, you can find us at camphopeyakima.com.
Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you delivered will soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy will give sight to a blind man? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would calm a storm with his hand? Did you know that your baby boy has walked where angels trod? And when you kiss your little baby, you've kissed the face of God. Mary, did you know?
Thank you, Sarah. That was beautiful. And Mike, may God continue to bless all you do for the homeless in this town through Camp Hope. Image Point Mobile Medical Services invites you to the annual Walk for Life for the Unborn. Come gather at this all-outdoor event at the Grace of Christ Church parking lot on Saturday, January 22nd at 1 p.m. There'll be a short presentation and prayer followed by the walk down Yakima Avenue. Come, put your feet into action and support the value of life in this community. We hope to see you there. May God's love always bless you, may His joy always fill you, and may His presence always keep you close. For Jesus is the reason for this season. For God did not send His Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through Him might be saved. The true meaning of Christmas is the celebration of this incredible act of love. Merry Christmas.